Well, now that was very weird. It says I'm live now. I went live when we started the whole program, and for some now then I just happened to look over and seeing the people saying they can't see or hear me. So I don't know what that was. So I just had to re up the broadcast. I think I'm here now. If you can see me, let me know over in the chat room. I've been talking for the last 7 minutes. Well, save for the opening of the show. So for all of you, let me just, I'll just play that right now.
You're listening to the Intrepid radio program with Scotty Roberts. Intelligent Talk.
So are you saying the levels on my mic are low? That's interesting, because I see somebody's been tampering with some of my buttons. But that's not the right one there. So there's that. How about that? Oh, look at that. Yep, somebody turned my soundboard all the way down. So tell me, how is that? Can you hear me clearly now? Is that that's awfully odd. First of all, now my audio is in the right settings, but I started the show at 9 o'clock. It played through the minute and a half worth of material at the beginning, and I started talking. So I've been talking for over 5 minutes already. And then I see that you all said that you weren't hearing or seeing me, and I looked up, camera's not on. I'm like, why is my camera off? I hit the begin broadcast button, and then I find out somebody has been tampering with my sound buttons over here on my soundboard. Now, if you could see this, you could see the dials and the lights and switches and all that. So are you hearing me all right now? Are the levels okay? Testing 1, 2. That should be a little loud. That you should have gotten a little distortion. When I pick up my voice, you should get some distortion on that. Other than that, I think right there is a very good level. It looks like where it has been set for months and months and months. So, shave, you heathen, said Doug Stack. Doug, I wanted to be more like you. So I'm growing out my beard. I'm going to grow a Zeus beard. We're just going to let her go. And then I will play Zeus. And I'll grow my hair long, too. So kind of such nice curly locks that hang down to my shoulder. Of course, Zeus probably didn't talk that way. You behave down there now, Hades, or I'm going to send some thunderbolts. So he probably didn't talk that way, would be my guess. So welcome to the show. I was just saying hi to everybody who's in here. I stepped off a bit, talking a bit about Ryan Gale. I said, hey, Ryan Gale, it's good to see you. And I was saying, if you hear my children screaming out there beyond the door, they're not supposed to be. We had a little come to Jesus meeting about the way they have to act when I'm on radio. They can come in if they absolutely need to. If there's an emergency, I'm always accessible. They can, if somebody's trying for my doorknob and laughing, so somebody else is pulling them away out there right now, the little one. I did give them a mandate that, you know what? You're allowed to come in and say hi if you act like the Von Trapp family, pre-Maria coming as their governess. I'm not talking about the naughty ones. I'm talking about when they were he blow the whistle and they come and stand to attention. And I said, that's what I want. And so you come in here during the radio show, you respect the radio show. And if you come in to ask me if you can have a piece of cheese, there will be trouble to be had. And then I told them, no making noise out there, no screaming at the door because you're all fighting. Well, we'll see how that goes. We can hear you well now, but the image is rather fuzzy. Beats the hell out of me. Helene, I have no idea why that is. Is it fuzzy for everybody? Or is it just fuzzy? All right. I don't know if you heard that. Somebody threw something at the door. My kids are unruly. And they have been. I noticed that for the last few months since I got back from Louisiana. My kids have been absolutely unruly. They tell me no more often. They don't do what I say unless there's money involved. Sure, Dad, I'll do the dishes, but how much are you going to pay me? I'm like, nothing. I'm not going to take away the money you've got if you do them. So that's how that goes. And I started to say, I was saying hey to everybody, and I said hey to Ryan, and I saw a post of his today where he had, I don't know how much you want to say about this in public, so it's not mine to release information, but I'm glad to see you're still alive, brother. Those brushes with potential dying can give us a new respect for our mortality. And remember, I've been there. Now, when I had my heart attack and my surgery, I didn't feel like I was going to die. I never had a foreboding of, I might not come out of this alive. It seemed like a pretty standard procedure that's being done more and more. Brain stuff scares me a little bit, but it was just my heart. And so yeah, I had a little healthy respect for my life put in after that. However, I don't do all the things I should be doing to maintain my health. I try. I'm working on it. So by the way, sound and picture good, everybody? We're apparently having some issues over here tonight. So I am on wireless as opposed to hardwired in tonight. My computer, I switched it to wireless for a reason, and I have not changed it back. So I'm not hardwired in tonight. We're going over the wireless. And I think if I change it right now, now you're in here because it's an important reason, right? You're following the mandates I gave you?
No, I came in to say I love you.
I love you too. There you go. I'm getting hugs. Okay. Well, I love you too. Now, you can leave now. Say hi to everybody. Wave. I love you. I'll be out in a little while. Okay? You guys.
How long will this take?
Same time, same amount of time it always takes.
2 hours, Ray.
About an hour. And so you guys behave. Do what I told you to do out there. Thank you very much.
I get left it. Ow!
Locking it does no good. Ellery already knows how to pick the locks, so the locking of it does no good. I'm going to have to get a deadbolt when I get a studio put up. So anyway, you get a respect for your mortality when you get those kind of near-death. I'm not saying I'm a near-death experience, but just things that happen to us, and suddenly we find that we maybe could have died from that. So glad to see you're still here, Ryan. Morgan Snow, good to see you. Doug Stack, good to see you as well. I already said, but I apparently was not broadcasting in that first few minutes. No, you said something about my beard, so you saw me. I had to be after that. So it's coming back. It'll grow back. It's a couple weeks now. That's all I get for 2 weeks. I'm not a very hairy man, but it's filling in. And so while Rainy's in Alaska, I'm playing Nanook of the North. So by growing my beard. And I did give her the link to tonight's show. Whether she'll be able to pop in is a mystery. It's a mystery to all of us. Right now it's 9:15 here, which means it's 6:15 in Alaska. But they are up at up on the river, up at her sister and brother-in-law's new piece of property they bought out in the wilds, and doing some fishing and stuff. And the camper with the 3 little kids up there of her sister-in-laws, of her sisters. And but they have almost no signal up there. So if she shows up here tonight, I'll be surprised. But it'll be a pleasant surprise. She's been posting some pictures. If you're on my Facebook, you can go check them out. She caught a big fish, about that big. It's a salmon. And so it's pretty cool. And they're standing out there catching them like bears, I think. So in the water. So it's pretty cool. So, who else is here? Helene, I saw you. I said hi, and good to see you again. Mention you again. Let's see who else we got in here tonight. Morgan Snow, Teresa, good to see you. Ryan Gale, Susie Q, Matt Finn, Master Finn, good to see you, brother. And always glad to see you. And we got Field Guy. I talked to Field Guy right away, too, when I was actually not broadcasting and thought I was. So good to see you, Field Guy. And Elderberry, good to see you. Good, extra loud. That's fantastic. Glad I'm Kevin Miller. Good to see you. You said, yeah, sure you did. I'm not sure if that was to me or to somebody else. I must have said something, so I have no idea. Hey, where did I put the camera? Oh, I see. Yeah, maybe I was abducted by aliens, Ryan said. No, I was abducted. My show was hijacked by little children who messed with all my equipment, apparently. So there we go. All right. So we do have a topic tonight, and I have to say about last night, my almost last minute ditching on the show last night was due to a client, a very good client of mine. They're a big client. They're very big. They pay me well, and they pay me on time, which is very nice, sometimes immediately. And but we were in the midst of a very big project yesterday that's still going on tonight. I just said, I've got a radio show to do from 9 to 10. So after this, I put kids to bed, which I should have done before this show, the little kids, but there they are. They're out there screaming. And then I go right back into it, and hopefully we'll be all done by tomorrow morning. So that's a good thing. And I'm not sure. It occurs to me, why would kids come into my radio studio setting here and mess with the buttons on my soundboard? I can only think it was the 6-year-old. Very curious to know what does this one do? So happy to hear you have some opportunity to fund your war chest, says Matt Finn. Well, I don't know if it'll do that. It'll definitely pay the current bills, that's for sure, and take us into next month. So that's a good thing. It's always nice when a couple of days of work sets you up for a couple of months. So that's kind of nice. I'm also working on finishing that book, How to Be an Archaeologist. That's going to be ready soon. It's going to go to press as soon as I'm done with the illustrations and the layout. And at the rate I'm going with some of the busyness, that's been set aside just a couple of days. So I'll jump back into that very soon, I hope. And they all want Daddy's attention, Scotty. Well, they don't point out that they're doing it, so they did this sometime throughout the day. And so I don't know if it's they want my attention or they're just mindlessly over here messing around with buttons. So somebody else is coming. Oh, no, it's still Ellery. What you doing? Why are you in?
Hi.
Hi. What's going on?
Threw a baseball at me.
I'm not.
Didn't I say you can't come in here and start tattling when I'm on the radio?
She hit me with a baseball.
I don't care. You kids go take care of your own problem. If I have to come out there, you've already interrupted the show, but if I have to come out there, there will be trouble.
And look at bacon.
Somebody will get something. So there you go. I specifically said, do not come in here when I'm doing radio and tattle on somebody. What'd my son do? And of course, they're like this all day long. And I'm like, guys, I must have said a dozen times today, guys, stop your bickering. Stop your fighting. What the hell is this about? I kept telling Flynn, go and talk to your sisters and be an example of being peaceful. I said, promote peace with your sisters. Not that they're at war or anything, but promote peace. And now they're out there, they're running around like they don't ever have any supervision or something. My kids are completely supervised. They can't go places without asking. They can't do things without asking. For common sense stuff, I'm talking. But now they're out there, they're banging on the doors and the walls, and they're bouncing off the walls, and they're running around doing stuff. When I distinctly said, before doing this show, let's put on a show that you all like, something you'll enjoy, like Kung Fu Panda or something like that, and everybody just sit down, chill, relax, and watch your movie for an hour, and I'll be done. So there you go. Mom is gone, so let's push Daddy's buttons. Thing is, Daddy's not as lenient as Mom. That's the problem. You know why? I'm not a mom. So now I know guys my age that grew up and said, we never crossed my mom. No, they don't like crossing their mom, but I crack down on these guys. Walking and listening can't type, says Michelle. Glad you're walking, Michelle. Let's see. Everything will settle down now. You'll have no need to move house. Yeah, we have no need to move house now. So it's an extraordinary year. I think you've all coped marvelously. Thank you very much. We'll see how it all pans out. And so they're competing for my attention. Yeah, that's it. Mom's gone, so let's push Dad's buttons. I know they did that to Rainey when I was gone. Now, this is not a show about parenting tonight, although we've hit that topic. My children will... I saw when I was gone in Louisiana for 3 months that my children really pushed the limits with Rainey. That's excuse me. Hold on. I will be back. Commercial break. I'm gonna put this on pause or mute. You guys just watch. No, I'll leave it on so you can hear what's going on. I'll be right back. Why are we pounding on the walls and the door?
First of all, we weren't. She kept.
What did I say before I did radio? Sit here and watch your movie. Do not make noise. Do not pound on the office door. I don't want to hear what you're saying. Don't go away. You stand right where you are because I'm talking to you. What did I say before I went into the office for radio? What did I say? Don't fight out here, Ellie. Pull your face out from under that. I want to see your eyes. Look at my eyes. I said, be good out here. If you want to wander in quietly and say hello on the radio, you can. But do not be disruptive. Do not break open into the door. Do not pound on the walls. No fighting. And what have you been doing for the last 15 minutes? Exactly what I told you not to do. Now, you will all sit quietly for the next, 35 minutes. You think you can manage that? 35 minutes. I'm going to go in and finish my show. They're all listening to me yelling at you right now. I don't need an explanation right now. Doesn't matter. Ellery, if you're pushing everybody's buttons, look in my eyes. Stop now. Do you understand me? Thank you for interrupting the show. Enough, so I had to come out here and yell at you. Use your heads. Where were we? So, sorry about that, folks. Sorry to interrupt the show because Rainey is the one that usually keeps them in order when I'm in here, if they're doing anything. But everything I asked them not to do during the show tonight, now they've done. So, damn good thing we're not on the actual airwaves over at Odyssey. That's all I can say. This stuff does not fly well with me. When I, as a parent, tell my children to do something, you know what my expectations are? Is that my children do what I tell them to do. Now, I'm also, I don't have my head in the clouds. I also know kids try to get away with shit too. But I am overly done with my own kids trying to find every way to end run around. I'm going to tell you this. When I had my 3 older kids, they weren't that way. They were different. They were different kids. They were different styles, different personalities. Abby and Bryn twins had each other. Sam didn't start doing stuff until he got into his teens, and he got into a little bit of trouble, as we all know. So, hey, Steph, good to see you. And it's not like I'm a newbie to this parenting thing. Like I say, I've already had 3 kids that were pretty decent kids. Sam had his problems, but he had his problems. My kids now, they've got different personality types. And trying to express what I want them to do isn't as easy as it seemed to be in the past to me, which was, if Dad says it, that's the way it is. So we talk a lot about respect. We talk a lot about expectations. Kids are entitled because of the school and society. Yeah, that's the way it's coming across. Thank you, David. Great kids. They're great kids. They're just different kids. That's what I just said. They're great kids. They're just different personalities. They're all wonderful kids. But this is a topic for you parents out there. What do you do when your kids they're not being nasty to you? They just don't do what you tell them to do. And it's an over and over and over and over and over and over a thing. It's been reinforced many times. If my mom, when I was growing up, ever said to me, I'm going to be in that room broadcasting, which she didn't do, but I'm going to be in that room on the phone. Do not disturb me for 30 minutes. You know what would happen if we disturbed her? Hell would break loose. We didn't disturb her. We respected what she told us to do. She had expectations. So, Scotty, have one word boomer. Scotty, have one word boomer. I don't care if I'm a boomer or a millennial or whatever the hell people want to call people. I'm a parent. They're my children. Flynn is 11 years old. That's my oldest son. He has not been out in the world enough as a post-millennial to be able to take on the politics and the attitudes and so on. That's my take on that. Ain't that the truth, Elder Barry? All kids need an ass whooping from time to time. And you know what? They all got one the other day, a few days ago. They were going on and carrying on, and they would not do what I told them to do. The worst thing a parent can do is tell their kids, this is what I want you to do, and then not follow up if they don't listen to you. Then they know you're a pushover. Then they know you don't really mean what you say. So Mandy Moo says, Scotty, my daughter is 15, and the school teaches them they have all these rights without showing them adults have rights because we have adult responsibilities. Yeah, there's some of that goes on. Here, I've got to bring this up in this window so I can see it. Mandy, I know, and that stuff's out there. For teenagers mostly, you start to get some of that indoctrination when they're younger kids too. My kids haven't quite learned that yet. Except remember a few months ago, I was in Louisiana, and Rainey had a visit from CPS, Child Protective Services. She called me on the phone because she was in the bath upstairs. And they, of course, don't call and make an appointment. They just come and knock on your door. Because they got to make sure you're not really a problem They can't let you get away with anything if you're actually doing bad things. Well, we tracked that all back to something Rowan had said to one of her teachers, or to her teacher, about the way she was disciplined or something, spanked or something. And so I was not very happy with the CPS people, but I think I handled myself professionally. I have to watch it these days. My fuse is about this short these days. And, when it should be that long. So no euphemisms in there, please. So there it is. Parenting, guys. I know some of you are parents. Mandy, you've got a 15-year-old. And I don't know how many of you have kids. I know Matt Finn has kids, small kids. And Amanda B. Scotty, I just brought a box of Lucky Charms. What the bejeebas are they? Lollies and milk. Cost me $11. Holy crap. And I thought $3.79 for the family size at Walmart was expensive. I guess it's because they got to ship them over to Australia. So yeah, what is it? It's they're like basically like Cheerios, an oat cereal, I think, hard crunchy oat cereal with little marshmallow shapes. They've been around since I was a kid. They're magically delicious. We actually have a box of Lucky Charms out there. I don't like them. I can't eat that stuff anymore. I just can't. And taste-wise, it just doesn't do me any good anymore. So every now and then Fruit Loops are good for me, but that's a thing of the past. Frosted Cheerios and Clinkers. I have no idea what Clinkers are, Amanda. So that must be an Australian cereal. Crikeys. I want a box of Crikeys. So, yeah, Mandy Moose says, also too many times you try to speak to anyone about your child's behavior and they want you to drug your children. Ain't that the truth? And the kid has ADD, ADHD, ACDC. We put some letters together, now give this pill to the kids. Ain't that the truth, Mandy? And yeah, they put my son on medication because they thought when he was 4 or 5, Dave Potter, you remember that? Sam, when he was 4 or 5, they put him on some kind of Ritalin. They wanted him to take Ritalin because they said, well, he's got attention deficit disorder. So, blah. I'm so over this crap. Wesley says, did you know 1914 Coca-Cola had 1.4 grams of cocaine in it? Yes. Which explains how our grandparents could walk 10 miles to school and back uphill both ways in the snow barefoot. Ain't that the truth, Wesley? So, that's very true. What else we got going in the chat room? I'm not going to even get into our topic tonight. It's 9:35. I know you come here for a reason. You come to hear stuff. You did not come here tonight first of all, for me to have a glitch in my my broadcast, which was the first 7 minutes of the show. I wasn't even broadcasting, but I was talking away. And then you didn't come to see interruptions from my kids, although it's fine for my kids to come in. You didn't come in here to see me have to get up and go yell up my kids a little bit for violating everything I told them to do during this radio show. Some people might listen back to that and say, ooh, you're pretty harsh. They just got a little yelled up. Nobody got smacked or spanked or their arms broken or their fingernails pulled out. They got a little yelled up. And now it's been fairly quiet since I've been back in here, although I've heard them a couple of times. Why I had to do that? That's why 20 minutes before the show started, I sat them down and said, here's what I expect from you while I'm doing the show tonight. Expectations. And, but they didn't listen to any of it. I must what, Amanda? You did. I must beat them and break their fingernails? No, I discipline them. I'm hard with my kids sometimes. I have expectations. I am the parent. You are the child. Here are the things that I expect of you. Now, I also love my kids to death. I do stuff with my kids. Now, I think some of this might have a little bit to do with that. I've been so pulled away by this project over the last 2 days that we haven't done a lot. But my door is open. They're in and out of here all day, every day, even when I'm busy. And so, Helene, you're right. No self-respecting leprechaun would sell that crap, sell that, or eat or sell that crappy cereal unless there's gold to be made. So, the field guy said, yeah, field guy, we were on the phone a couple hours ago. He heard some of the stuff going on, but it was pretty sedate. It was pretty calm. Yeah, you should have yelled at him back then. Let's see. No chloroform. No, chloroform them. You get 7 hours apiece. If you put it on your shoulder and give them a big hug, they don't notice. Very nice. You know, I might take you up on that advice, Mandy. Yes, chloroform the children. They need an Uncle Dave visit, is what they need, Dave Potter. Uncle Dave's got to come out. I know you just left working on your RV and all of that stuff, but come on out for a day. Rainy's home at Friday evening. So after that, then you're visiting us all, and it's just like normal. You want to come out when she's gone, hang with the kids and me? That'd be cool. It's a glass that changes colors. I'm not drinking blue liquid. It's not Romulan ale. So that fooled Ellery today. Dad, why's your drink all blue? Purpley. So there you go. Amanda says, I broke them in wooden spoons, all good. Yeah, I haven't broken a wooden spoon on my children, but I've used a wooden spoon. I was going to say, just the other day, I walked out there. They were all violating something I said to do. They were all being nasty to each other, fighting, screaming. I'm like, what the fuck's the matter with you people? I didn't say it that way to them. Sorry for sensitive ears. What the hell's the matter with you people? I just walked out from here. I was behind my desk. They're all sitting in the living room, screaming at each other and pushing each other around. And I'm like, hey, stop it. Guys, stop. I would yell. So it's like, otherwise I'm getting up every 7 minutes. And I have never once belittled the job that Rainey does here as a mostly stay-at-home mom. She does a few massages a week, but mostly her job has been focused on taking care of these kids and doing stuff with them. And without her here, suddenly there's no buffer zone for me to work. And even when she is here, I'm still interrupted every 10 minutes by the kids. So she does a lot of running around, a lot of errands to do and things like that. And the older two are constantly fighting too. And I'm like, what do you guys have to fight about all the time? I know sibling rivalry, all of that. My brother and I fought all the time. There wasn't, I guess, no real deep psychological issue. My brother just always wanted to be the boss. So we fought all the time. And with Flynn, my son Flynn, it's like, Flynn, your daughters, your little girls, little sisters look up to you. You help set the tone. You know, then the opposite happens. Like right now, somebody started talking. It was absolutely silent. And I thought, uh-oh, what are they up to? What happened? Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
Pretty sure we almost got attacked.
By?
Something.
Something?
We don't know what it was. It made a weird noise and then we heard it running.
Where were you all? Outside?
Yeah, with me.
That's why it was so quiet. Why? What did you hear?
Yes.
It's a cat coughing up a hairball.
Ellery.
All right. Hi, Ellery. So it's something almost
a weird noise outside.
A weird noise outside. Is that why you're now back inside?
Yes.
Because it's dark outside now.
You just went.
Hair with a cat with a hairball.
It wasn't way too loud. It was too loud, Dad. It was like.
I see. What did Flynn do?
Well, we went to grab Lucy. Flynn just stared at it and then said he thought it was a dog, but I'm pretty sure it was a human walking like a dog trying to eat us.
It was Sasquatch, says Doug Stack. Or Sam Squatch, he said. Okay, let's not do that. Thank you. Or that. Hands off my face.
He looked like a hairy, fluffy, weird, ugly, puking dog. It was a dog. It went at us and then tried to kill us.
Yeah, it tried to kill you, I'm sure.
Yeah, people ran inside from the noise.
Well, if you got a dog that you run into out there and you're a little afraid of the way he's acting, you get your butts inside, okay?
It sounded weird, but it was just a dog.
Maybe he was mad. Maybe he was rabid. Reminds me of the scene from To Kill a Mockingbird where Atticus Finch had to gun down the old rabid dog. So, night, Barry. Glad to have you here. Uncle Dave is in there and he says hi. He can't see your face though. Oh, Ellery slammed her own finger in the door going out this morning. So it peeled off a nice piece of skin. So, all right. Hi, kids, says Dave Potter. You can say hi to Uncle Dave? Say hi to Uncle Dave while you're here.
Poo poo.
Okay, go wash your face. You got food on your face. Bye. See ya. I want you to take your tomato soup cup and go rinse it out and put your dishes in the sink. Okay?
How hot my head is. I was only out for a couple seconds.
You feel kind of clammy to me. So, all right.
We'll see you later.
Hey, Scott A, says Steph Cuervo Queen. Bye. Yep. Oh, my goodness. All right. Novocaine shots, gauze, painkillers, says Wes. Nah, he says. So, yeah, sweet dreams, Barry. What time is it where you are, Barry? Elder Barry? So, good to see you. Glad to have you in here. Sorry, it's kind of a disconnected non-show tonight. Seem to be having a lot of those lately. And I have a topic. I was going to talk about the inerrancy of Scripture issue. And now we're down to about 15 minutes. And I got to be kind of tight with my time, even though we technically started the broadcast 7 minutes late, even though I was here talking. Oh, Barry's in Missouri. All right. Greetings and favor to you, Scotty Roberts, says David Castle. Thank you, David Castle. I'll take it. I'll take the greetings, and I'll take the favor. Thank you very much. And Doug Stack. Kids, gotta love them. Yeah, of course we do. Of course we do. And my door is opening again, which means somebody's coming back in.
Can you make sure this dries?
Can you ask me when I come out of here? I can't do that when I'm on radio. Do not put it on there. That's artwork on there. Take your wet thing out there, please. Do not disturb the show any further. Go out of the room. Take the wet thing off your mom's desk.
It's drying.
Right away.
But it's drying.
I don't care if it's drying. Go dry it somewhere else. Hang it over the edge. Hang it over the edge of the bathtub without any lip. Just do it. Okay. Look into my eyes. So, there you go. This is one of those shows where I'm getting nothing accomplished. I have constant interruptions despite setting the ground rules. Not just tonight. It wasn't like a news flash to them that you don't do that stuff. You don't come and interrupt the show for little reasons like that. A wet piece of paper that needs to be dried out, that doesn't need to be aired. Guys.
Ellery dumped a glass of milk on me.
All right, hey, Flynn, come here. Come here. Why don't you sit here? Why don't you tell the radio audience, come over here now. Now. Right now. Sit right here on this stool. Why don't you tell everybody out there why you just came in and interrupted the show?
Because Ellery poured a glass of milk on me.
Gosh, I'm sorry. Do you need me to do something, or can you take care of that? There you go. All right. Slam my door. Now he's out there just growling. I hear him going, "Grr, grr, grr." So apparently there is a disconnect with my children. When I say, don't come in here while I'm broadcasting 1 hour, doing a radio show. Don't come in here with tattling or problems like that. I said, if somebody's laying on the floor and you think they've died because they fell off the refrigerator, come and get me. I will gladly leave the radio show. If you've cut off a limb, come and get me. If you've fallen through the sliding glass window door and you're bleeding profusely out of your neck, come and get me. Now somebody's coming in crying because there is no respect for what I'm doing here. Now what?
Punching me, slapping me, and whacking me with bills really hard, so it hurt really bad.
Okay, so Flynn punched and slapped and hit you. Why? What was happening? Oh, for pouring a glass of milk on you?
You told me to deal with it myself.
I didn't. Flynn, come here. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this, folks. Come here now.
Why?
Because I said so. How about that for a start? Come over here. Right here. You got an audience here that would, I said over here. Now you've got an audience that'd be willing to give you some advice right now and listen to what you have to say. They'll hear you out. They might give you a better ear than I will, because you know what? I've had it up to my eyeballs with the stuff I've told you every day to not do and how to act properly with your sisters. Now, you got milk dumped on you. How wet are you from that?
No.
Oh, so you got a little bit of milk spilled on you. Okay. Did you punch your sister?
Yes.
Are you supposed to punch your sister?
No.
So, have I ever told you that before? Don't hit your sister?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How many times do you suppose I have said, stop hitting your sister?
I don't know.
More than 10?
Have you told her not to throw baseballs at
That's
me?
not
or pour
answering my
milk on me?
question. Don't be distractionary. Don't try to divert the attention away. I'm talking about what you did. Are you supposed to put your hands on your sisters?
No.
Have you heard that more than 10 times?
I don't know.
I know. Let's see, how many days have gone by in the last week? Well, let's say 5 days have gone by. You've heard it at least 10 times in the last 5 days. Now, ask everybody what they think. Do you think it's okay for an 11 going on 12 in a couple of weeks boy to hit his sisters? Right here. Look in the camera. Show him that innocent cherubic face. Out. I'm putting you on the spot deliberately. Flynn, I get it, says Steph. Maybe he knew he was angry and she was instigating. So in retrospect, he came to you, Scotty, asking for help. There you go. Maybe. What did you want me to do during the radio show?
I don't know.
Okay.
I wanted you to make her stop.
I told her to stop. That doesn't make her stop. That's like telling you not to hit when I'm constantly telling you not to hit and you always do anyway. So you're the big brother. It is your responsibility to act like a big brother to your little sisters. If you show them being peaceable about things and calming things down, and maybe laugh when she throws the milk at you and say, all right, that wasn't cool, let's clean this up. Rather than hitting her, you're not teaching her to react that way. You're teaching her to be better. I expect you to be a better person than that. All right? We will talk more on this. Bye. Close my door, please. All right. God, guys. Steph, he did come to me first. He came running in here screaming that his sister threw milk on him. But my experience with my kids, this is all day long, every day. Somebody's coming to tattle about what the other one did. And it ranges in severity from, I got milk thrown on me, to, she threw a candy wrapper at me, to, she grabbed the phone out of my hands, to, she won't let me watch the show I want to watch. And that stuff. So there you go. But what if she doesn't stop? I went through that with my kids. That's the big question, is it? What do you do when you have an expectation of your child? You've disciplined them for it many times, and they continue to do it. That is a good question. Maybe we'll talk about that on this show. All day, every day, all day long, Gadzooks, I would go insane. It is, Wes. It's all day, every day. And I'm like, do you guys ever stop and settle down? What is with... And it's not like I'm an outsider looking in. I've known these children for going on 12 years for Flynn, 9 going on 10 with Rowan, 6 going on 7 with Ellery. So there is some kind of respect disconnect that's going on. So we've got to deal with that. And I brought Flynn. Now, you may not have appreciated my motive just now or my actions. I brought Flynn on here because he was in here. I wanted him to face the music for what he did. Hey, there's a million opinions out here in this chat room, Flynn. State your case. Is it okay to hit your sister? The only time I have ever, and that Rainey has ever told our kids it's okay to hit is if somebody hits you or attacks you. If you're unable to walk away from it, you're allowed to hit back. And even that's iffy. That doesn't mean I want my kids to be weak and I don't want them to have the ability to defend themselves physically. I think they should all learn how to fight and fight right and fight good to be able to defend themselves. But the topics that are the cause of fighting amongst my kids, just got to be conscious that he might feel unfairly targeting being the only boy and the oldest. Matt Finn, there might be something to that. And I don't disagree with you. He's tired of his little sisters. He avoids them at all costs. They fight all the time. They push his buttons. Then there's times they get along. But then Ellery, she's kind of a little smartass. And I can see that she would have just thrown her milk at him. Scotty, it's a lesson for him and you all and for all of us. Yeah, it is. It's a lesson. Maybe you saw a side of me in this that you don't like. That's okay. You don't have to like it. You can come here and help babysit. No, I'm kidding. If Rainey had this for 3 months while I was in Louisiana, it is no wonder she needed a break when I got back. It's no wonder. Because while Rainey is no pushover, these kids will run ends around her all day long. And she's not a pushover. She's a strong person. She does what she needs to do. But it frustrates her all the same. After a while, she's like, I'm done. I'm so done. I'm so tired out. And that's what they do. 3 kids shouldn't be the source of tiring out mom. They should be a help to their mom. The talk I've had with Flynn many times. This is your mom. Don't talk bad to her. Don't talk back to her. Doesn't mean they aren't going to have an argument. Everybody, even as adults, we argue with our parents. Does that mean we don't love them? No. But you do it respectfully. You do it when that leash is given a bit. When you're no longer the parent-child relationship, but you'll always be parents to your kids, but there's a point where parents become friends to their adult kids, as opposed to, I don't need to parent you anymore. I will always be your parent, but I don't need to parent you. I don't need to parent Abby and Bryn. I sometimes think I have to parent Sam a little bit, but I don't need to parent Sam. He's independent. He's out on his own. I nurture a friendship with my children. I will always be their dad. They'll always be my kids. Now, with my little kids, none of them are at that point yet, though. They are all still at the point where they are home and under the authority of mom and dad. We still have a parent-child relationship. Now, with Flynn, I can loosen that up. I can be lax with that a little bit. And we are. Most of Flynn's stuff comes around being around his sisters, and with Rainey, he's just defiant sometimes. Like mowing the grass. I had to mow the grass today. Finish mowing the grass. He started it last Thursday or Friday and left the mower outside. And I said, son, you need to finish doing the grass. I'll do it later. Okay, well, later when? I don't know. I'd say, well, I'd like you to do it today. I'd like you to accomplish that today. Thank you. And this happened for 3 and 4 days. And I'm like, at what point does he lose his privileges? Early on. At what point do I start taking his collectibles away? His card collection. I told him the other day, I said, Flynn, you tell me no one more time and you don't accomplish this task, you know what's going to happen? I'm going to confiscate your card collection. And every time you say no, I'm just going to reach into the stack. I'm going to cut one up. I don't care if it's worth 30 cents or $3,000. It's getting cut. You better think before you speak to me that way. Because you know what? 11-year-old going on 12, they're too big to spank. You don't spank them. You find ways to discipline them that hurts them in the way that needs to be hurt to cause discipline. So, David Castle, not my circus, not my monkeys, just glad to see a parent trying to teach a child lessons. Well done. Well, thank you, sir. Thank you. I would have snapped, honestly, says Steph, but I know my limits and I need to rein myself in sometimes because in my head, I raise my kids to be better than when I see them fighting. That's it, Steph. I want my son to be better than that. Do you know how many times I've told him, son, you are the example to if your sisters are giving you problems, I said, they've kind of picked that up from you. Why don't you flip the table on them and be the big brother that shows them how to do things well, that shows them how to be respectful, that shows them, that's a parent's wet dream. It's not reality, but there it is. It's out there. But I tell them, I need you to be a better person. Now, in the midst of puberty and hormones and all that, it's not always going to make sense. Doug Stackett would have hung them by their toes and put them out by the street for the community to see as they drove by. Yeah, well, there's that. Public embarrassment, the public pillory. So that's why I brought him on air here. Hey, here's an audience. Tell them what you did. Since you interrupted the show, disrespecting me, and because I can tell you what, getting milk thrown on you by a 6-year-old, and frankly, he wasn't drenched in milk. He got hit. I couldn't even see the wet spot, so to speak. I couldn't see where the milk had even hit him. Probably on his bare legs because he had shorts on. So if you're going to interrupt for that and you can't handle that, and that little girl is a pistol, I'll tell you that. I do not envy Flynn that as a big brother. But there's a point where I say to my son, you need to be the bigger, you're going to be a man soon. You need to show your sisters a better way. It's not your responsibility to teach them. It's your responsibility to be a good man, I told him. They learn from that. I said, where do you think they learn how to fight with you? They learn some of that from you. So if you can teach them that, you can certainly teach them how to not be that way. Some of it's your response, and some of it is, I hear my little girl sometimes talk to Rainey the way Flynn does, as an angsty, pubescent male. And I'm like, whoa. And I said, Flynn, now, did you hear that? I said, where did she get that? She got that from you. So, and that's not guilting him. That is teaching him that what you do has repercussions on the people around you. So, and me even right now, tonight, I've got work to do. I got to get back to work. Now, that's not every night, all the time. It's very rare that I have these big, hard rush projects come in. But it was last night. Now it's going to be tonight, too. So I'm going to go up and tuck my kids in. Flynn's going to wander around the house for 5 more hours. No matter how many times I tell him to go to bed, he shows up down here again. And it's some of that's okay. It's summer, and I let my son sit up with me. Last night when I finished working, he was up wandering around. I said, come on, let's watch a ghost show or something. And we watched a ghost show together. And we talked and stuff and did our stuff. But that'll probably happen tonight. But the little girls, as soon as I put them in bed, they're usually out. Gone. So we'll talk about this another time. We'll get some information about this, about parenting. My frustration as a parent is one that I expect that when I say something, it gets done. And I back it up. Morgan Snow says, my husband threatened to cut the Xbox power cord and some other cables. There it is. Sometimes you got to do those extremes. And I feel for Rainey because Rainey's gentler about this stuff than I am. As hard as she is about things and as much as she brings to the table, these kids can run over her and she's done. And when I was in Louisiana, half of my guilt down there was I'm down here because Rainey really wanted me to come down. I didn't want to go. And she suggested I do it. Look, we can get ahead. We can get that house started, stuff like that. And the first couple of days were fine. By the second week, these kids were riding herd over her. And by the end of 3 months, she was worn to a nub. Her being in Alaska is wonderful. What is not wonderful is these kids have phones that they can use. And we haven't officially bought phones for this. Is your phone, and your phone. There's a phone that Flynn gets to use to play games on, and he can connect to the internet. Same with the little girls. But now, what's the first thing they do? They start calling mom. First day she's gone, they're calling her on their phones. They're not coming and asking me if they can call her. They're calling her up on Kids Messenger and stuff. And I said to the kids, guys, leave your mom alone for a couple of days. I know you love her, you miss her. At the end of the day, we'll call her and say goodnight to her. Tell her you love her, talk to her for a little bit, but don't call her. They were calling her, apparently. Rainey messaged me and said, those kids have called me 4 times today to settle squabbles. Now, it's not that I'm gone. It's that I'm in here working. They're out there watching TV. Somebody goes outside with their phone, sitting in the backyard, and calls mom. So I had to put up a rule. You do not call your mother unless I give you permission to do so. Why? Mom needs a break. Rainey loves these kids, and she loves hearing from them. But Rainey also needs to not hear about their daily squabbles. Do you think? Don't call your mom with those squabbles and to settle. Or there was one. What was it? Dad. Oh, they wanted to play with slime. New toy in the last few years. Invention. It's like whoever made that needs to be brought into a circle of parents that can beat him with sticks. I've told my kids, no slime. They wanted to play with slime the other day. That's in packages. Rainey buys his stuff. And I said, no slime. What did they do? While I was either on this show or I was in a business call back here, they go outside and they call their mom and ask, Dad won't let us get slime. Now, imagine you're on vacation because you need a break. You've been worn to a nub. You love your children, but you've been worn to a nub. And you're getting a break. You're up in the wilds of Alaska, fishing for salmon with your hands, hanging out with your sister and her kids. And your kids are calling from home because Dad won't let us do this thing. We want to do it, or Flynn hit me, or whatever. And it's not that I'm not available. It's that I might not be available at that moment that they want an answer on something. So, yeah, exactly, IOK. You obviously, IOX, do you know what slime is? I'll have it demonstrated on here one day. It's like silly putty, only gooier. And it doesn't really stick to you. It's like gooey, silly putty that's slime and drips and stuff. But it gets on the rug or the sofa. It's not a good thing. So, Rainey's up in Alaska to have a bit of a vacation, to get a break. What good does it do, Rainey, to get a break, to get away, and have all of the stuff that wore her down be stuff that the children want to constantly be calling her about? It's like, the rule was leave your mom alone.
We'll talk to her at bedtime. We'll give her a call. If you need to talk to mom because you miss her, give her a call. But come and check with me first. Don't just call her out of the blue. Let her have a vacation. So there you go. That's my take on that. I try to be, Michelle. Try to do my best. So, and my having been a sole custodial dad to my 3 older children for about 4 years before I met Rainey, I think that was good training ground. Even though I was alone, you know what? I've been a parent. I've been around this block. This ain't new stuff to me. So, Steph says maybe she can release some of her pent-up anger and wrestle a polar bear and win. There it is. Or fight him for a salmon. So there it is. All right, guys. I've now gone 12 minutes over. That should compensate for the first 7 minutes when I actually wasn't broadcasting while I thought I was. And so I want to thank you all for being here. And tomorrow will be a better day. I'm not worn to a nub, but I'm tired. My brain's tired. And so this kind of stuff doesn't work for me when my brain gets tired. And so I want to thank you all for putting up with this show tonight. Putting up with me and my lame presentation tonight. Putting up with me disciplining and yelling at my kids tonight. I don't apologize for yelling at my kids, and I never will. I didn't cross any lines with them. And screw the guy who thinks I did, because I don't really care what you think about that. But so my children, and by the way, you saw Flynn standing here. As soon as we hit a nerve, tears. You see that on him? I don't like to make him cry, but I know if he starts crying that it's hit the point. And he gets it. He gets it. He just doesn't know how to balance it all out yet. Shots of NyQuil for everyone, IOX says. Boom. There it is. He'll get it eventually. I look at how good Abby and Bryn turned out. The rest of them are going to turn out just fine, too. Sam turned out great. He struggles a little bit. Things of his own making, some of it. But he's making it. He's out on his own and doing it. These kids will be the same. We're parents. We're here to have fun making them. and then spend the next 18 years trying to get them over the hump. So there's a hump joke in there somewhere. So anyway, there we go. Prolonging the gone. I got to go. I got to get to work, but I got to go put my kids to bed first. They're very quiet out there, which means they must be upstairs. Maybe the werewolf outside scared them enough to go to bed. So upstairs, not on the main floor. So I want to thank you all for being here. Thanks for putting up with this tonight. Don't like these kinds of interruptions and shit. I feel very discombobulated right now. I feel very edgy. I feel very stressed out. I feel very disjointed because of the way the show went tonight. So I apologize for some of the mishaps along the way, for the technical glitches at the beginning. Don't even know why those happened, but we got over them. They only lasted for 7 minutes. So I'm going to go up and I'm going to do just that, Helene. I'm going to go read a little story, and then I got to come back down here and work. So that's all. So you know what, folks? Live long and prosper.
You're listening to the Intrepid radio program with Scotty Roberts. Intelligent talk.